Here's the thing about the recent dress code in Mahakal Mandir. It's not about religion. This board recently went up in the Mahakal Mandir temple complex, which forbids women from wearing short skirts or dresses while visiting the temple. This actually follows a trend which has been going on in many temples across India, including the Mahakameshwar temple and the Jagannath Mandir. Although the Madras High Court did state that temple authorities are allowed to do this, it does bring into question why they are taking such actions in the first place. And it's not like Hinduism is a restrictive religion like Islam, which has proper dress codes in its scriptures itself. The only thing Hinduism does talk about is that while performing any religious activities, one should try and wear unstitched clothes because it makes one more receiving of spiritual energies. So besides this one exception, there hasn't really been any talks of dress codes in the Hindu religion. In fact, for most of history, Indian people wore very exposing clothes, for lack of a better term. This is because India has a very hot climate, so it makes sense that people would want to stay cool. In fact, nudity has actually been seen as a divine quality, the most prime example of which being Ma Kali, who is often depicted as nude because one does not simply clothe the infinite. So it does seem like this issue is more of a social issue rather than a religious one. And it does make sense because a lot of locations do have dress codes, such as schools, where you are required to have a sense of uniformity where each person from every economic background can feel equal with each other. So it does make sense that a temple would also want to have a dress code. But I feel where they went wrong was making it a gendered issue and the reasoning behind it as well. Because it is quite confusing that a woman has to follow a dress code because a man will get distracted by seeing her. But by the same logic, won't a woman get distracted by seeing the top half of a male body? And if your faith is being shaken by some exposed skin, how strong is it really? And it does seem a little bit sexist as well because it just assumes that men are incredibly sexually charged and we just can't handle even a little bit of exposed skin, which is just not the case at all. Of course, I'm not advocating that people should be allowed to wear just about anything while visiting a temple. A certain sense of care should be taken to maintain the sanctity and the environment. However, the actions that are being taken don't feel like they are being taken by the noblest of intentions, and it just feels like a lazy power grab. But let me know what you think down below in the comments.